It's one of the reasons why your name came up in discussing the JonBenet Ramsey case. We had John Ramsey on the show not long ago, and he's like, I'm 78 years old. I don't have much time to see this case solved. And he said, CeCe, he wants someone like you to analyze what they say is a teeny tiny bit of DNA that is left in that case. And I don't know why there's not more, because apparently they have JonBenet's pajamas, they have her underwear, they have the implement used to strangle poor JonBenet, and the instrument. And it's been tested repeatedly and there's been no match. And I guess what he's being told is basically there's only one more test in here. Like, if we do this again and we don't get the guy, it's done. There's so little left. So just to update our viewers, he wants the governor of Colorado to allow him, as the child's father, who's been ruled out as a suspect by the prosecutor, to take this DNA and give it to somebody like you, to take it to a private lab that is the best of the best. And this seems to make so much sense to me. But he wasn't able to get the Governor Polis, to even respond to him. He told us this right before Christmas when he came on. So during that interview, he told us, this is an update for our viewers, CeCe, he told us about a letter that he wrote to the Colorado governor, Jared Polis, and he had written it like 2 months earlier, October. He asked him for a face-to-face meeting because so far he'd been getting the stiff arm from the governor, from the state law enforcement. They created this sort of, we're going to refer to our cold case unit. And he was like, that's a PR CYA cover. That's not real. And he wanted to tell the governor personally the different steps he wants taken in the investigation, including this new DNA testing with somebody like you. So it would cost the state nothing. He said he and his supporters would pay for it. Well, John came out and he told us the governor never even did him the courtesy of responding to him. I mean, how do you not respond to this grieving dad? After the interview, we promised John Ramsey that we and our viewers were going to reach out to the governor and demand answers. Why are you ignoring this man? Why are you ignoring John Ramsey and his concerns? No response for us either. We told our listeners and our viewers to do it. They did as well, reached out to the governor's office directly, demanding action on behalf of John Ramsey. Respond to the man, do something. Now, we don't know what exactly flipped that switch, but John just told us he's heard back from the governor after 2 months of being ignored. And now the governor has asked him, John Ramsey, to contact the Colorado Director of Public Safety, and he's done that. No face-to-face meeting yet, but John is telling us he now feels encouraged by the response. So yay! Thank you to all of our viewers and our listeners for helping and amping up the pressure. And now, CeCe, what we need to happen is for someone like you, ideally you, to get this evidence analyzed. So how high are the risks given how little DNA there is?
Just backtracking a little, I don't know if you remember, but you asked me almost 5 years ago what case I'd like to work. And I mentioned JonBenet. And I have received emails or messages on social media every single day since that time asking me to work this case. I certainly would love to have the opportunity to do so, but I doubt very much that they would let me work it. I would expect maybe the FBI will work it if anyone is allowed to do so. As far as the risks, once you use up that DNA, that's the end. So you have to make sure that it's being sent to a well-tested team, a lab that has been able to create profiles, genetic genealogy profiles from tiny amounts of degraded DNA, and that has scientists that are really highly skilled at working with that degraded DNA. We can assume it's degraded after all these years. With touch DNA, which I think that's what this is in this case, my understanding, again, you just have a tiny bit of skin cells, and it can be very quickly consumed. So I understand Boulder Police's hesitation to use up that last little bit because you never know what's coming around the corner. Nobody predicted investigative genetic genealogy outside of our little, community. And so I always am hesitant to second guess law enforcement. I've been involved in some pretty high profile cases where people were out there criticizing law enforcement and had no idea what was going on behind the scenes. And I wasn't able
Idaho.
Yeah, just like Idaho. That's exactly right. Now, in that case, I didn't have inside information, but I strongly suspected they were trying investigative genetic genealogy. But there's been other cases where they've never even released that they did use that tool. And, I've had to keep quiet and watch all these people criticizing law enforcement for years. It happened in the Chapel Hill case and Faith Hedgepeth's case as well. I had to bite my tongue. And so you just don't know what they are doing behind the scenes and what their reasoning is. And so I really do hesitate to second guess, like I said, but I think it is the time to go ahead and do it. They can get a whole genome sequence done on that DNA if it's viable, meaning you can not just look at the 700,000 markers that we use for genetic genealogy, but they could look at the entire genome and then have all of that information for the future. And I think that's probably the best bet in this case. There's two different ways you can do it. One is called microarray, where you just look at those 700, 800,000 genetic markers that the direct-to-consumer DNA testing companies also use. Or you can do this whole genome sequence where you get every bit of the genome information that is available in that sample.
You get that from Touch DNA?
Yes, absolutely. About 10% of the cases that we've helped solve or been able to create profiles for have been Touch DNA. We published a paper in 2019 talking about that. And so people in this case are saying, oh, it's so new if they use Touch DNA for genetic genealogy, but it's actually not. We've been doing it since 2018. So it's totally doable. And I think, John's getting older, as he keeps pointing out, and now is the time.
Okay, listen, is your business still using spreadsheets and emails to manage important sales commission? Don't do that. Is your support and operations staff stretched too thin? They might quit. That's what's happening. Are your salespeople constantly trying to piece together the puzzle for what they're getting paid for and what's potentially missing? That's annoying. Why are you doing it like that? ClearComp has got you. They've got the solution to all of this. ClearComp is a one-stop shop for your business to manage sales commission documentation like commission plan info, product info, and facts. It's basically a sales operations and sales enablement dream platform. ClearComp works seamlessly and securely with your existing software applications for your billing, CRM, HR, you get the picture. Your sales team will perform their best with real-time results and earnings using ClearComp's interactive dashboards. And your operations team will be able to make commission plan adjustments with just a few clicks. So please, get it done. Get her done already, would you? Modernize your sales org. Improve your business today by visiting clearcomp.com. That's ClearComp.com. Book a demo and tell them I sent you. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.